It's exceedingly rare that you get somebody in a position of power who you know has a good heart and a good soul and actually cares about things that matter. Oftentimes, these positions are filled with corrupt careerist hacks, malignant narcissists, people who deep down are not that great. Well, Mike Gravel was the former, not the latter. He was a person who was a senator, and he actually had a conscience, and he cared deeply about what went on in the world. He just passed away at the age of 91. As of right now, the cause of death is not being reported, although I don't know how much you need a cause of death at the age of 91. It could simply be old age, but who knows? It might be something else as well. I'm really unsure. This news just broke. He really was unique and heroic. So for those of you who don't know his story, he worked to end the draft that kept feeding the Vietnam War, which of course is colossally important. The Vietnam War was a horrendous war. We should have never gone into that war. And he was one of the few. Now remember, early on, it was rare to speak out against it, but this is somebody who did. And he also used his Senate immunity when no other senator, even other nominally anti-war senators, would read the Pentagon Papers. He read them into the Senate record. So he used his Senate immunity to do something that nobody else would do. And remember, the Pentagon Papers, that's like, think of that as like the original Chelsea Manning, Julian Assange exposing war crimes scandal, where we learned that the United States of America was using napalm and Agent Orange and just absolutely massacring villages full of landless peasants in Vietnam. So we were killing civilians as a matter of standard operating procedure. And when we learned about that fact, nobody wanted to report on it. Nobody wanted to discuss it. Everybody wanted to hide it. And the government definitely didn't want that to get out. So you needed the heroism of Daniel Ellsberg and the heroism of Mike Gravel and the heroism of a select, handful of others in order to expose this. So truly an American hero, stayed true to his principles throughout. Now, I was critical of him recently when he was running for president this most recent election, because I'm not a big fan of like I'm going to run for president, but I'm going to admit up front that it's symbolic. I don't actually want to win. Well, then, in my opinion, you almost sort of undermine the causes that you're trying to push. I'm not saying that's purposeful. It's an inadvertent side effect when you run for office and you say, but I'm not actually trying to win. Okay, then just don't run. Okay? So I was critical of that. But putting that aside, he made, what was a more credible run in 2008. He didn't win. He didn't do particularly well in terms of the numbers, but he made a run in 2008 where he got on that debate stage and he just absolutely eviscerated everybody around him. And he exposed the sham of the 2008 Democratic primary. Of course, Barack Obama went on to win that primary and then win the general election, and then unfortunately continued the wars, which is sort of like the point that Gravel was making, which is like, all these people up here are frauds. All the top tier ones scare the shit out of me, and they should scare the shit out of you too. So rest in peace to Mike Gravel. He's definitely an American hero. And what I want to do now for you guys is play one of those amazing debate moments from the 2008 Democratic primary so you can see who this guy really is.
You're right, I made that statement, but that's before I had a chance to stand with them three times. It's like going into the Senate. You know, the first time you get there, you're all excited. My God, how did I ever get here? Then about 6 months later, you say, how the hell did the rest of them get here? And I got to tell you, after standing up with them, some of these people frighten me. They frighten me. When you have mainline candidates that turn around and say that there's nothing off the table with respect to Iran, that's code for using nukes, nuclear devices. I got to tell you, I'm President of the United States. There will be no preemptive wars with nuclear devices. To my mind, it's immoral, and it's been immoral for the last 50 years as part of American foreign policy.
Let's use a little moderator discretion here. Senator Gravel, that's a weighty charge. Who on this stage exactly tonight worries you so much?
Well, I would say the top-tier ones. The top-tier ones. They've made statements. Oh, Joe, I'll include you too. You have a certain arrogance. You want to tell the Iraqis how to run their country. I got to tell you, we should just plain get out. Just plain get out. It's their country. They're asking us to leave, and we insist on staying there. And why not get out? What harm is it going to do? Oh, you hear the statement, well, my God, the soldiers will have died in vain. The entire deaths of Vietnam died in vain. And they're dying in vain right this very second. You know what's worse than a soldier dying in vain? Is more soldiers dying in vain. That's what's worse.